What's up, guys? Welcome into Taking the Field with Stevie Mac, episode 31. I'm your host, Stephen MacDonald, and I really wanted to go over last night's games with all of you and preview the game going on tonight like we've done on past episodes here during the PLL Championship Series, but that isn't really as important as what I will get into with this episode here in just a second. But if you would like to comment and vote on that Chaos versus Redwoods game tonight, you can do so on the Twitter poll I started on my Twitter page at Stevie Mac Media, so go vote on that and tell me your winners for that game. But what I want to get into with this episode is Garrett Epple's retaliation on Matt Gaudet from last night during the Redwoods Chrome game. And by now you all know what happened on Saturday in the opening night of the PLL Championship Series involving rookie attackman Matt Gaudet for the Chrome, chirping Chaos goalie Blaze Riorden. Then we wondered after the game when we would see the retaliation for Gaudet's chirping efforts, and it really didn't take too long, as last night in the Chrome's second game of the championship series, Redwoods defenseman Garrett Epple took down Matt Gaudet while the Chrome were on offense, and after the whistle, Epple took a few more shots at Gaudet while he was still on the ground, only this time the shots landed around his head and neck area. And what Epple did in this situation, at least in my mind, is actually way worse than what Gaudet did in the first place to even spark the whole situation on Saturday. What Gaudet did was basically like elementary school playground stuff, with kids just kind of going back and forth, picking on each other, calling each other names and different things like that, just trying to get under each other's skin a little bit in the name of friendly competition on the playground. But what Epple did in retaliation was foolish, selfish, and most importantly, it was dangerous. So it was foolish because he did it over something that is basically so trivial and small that it really shouldn't have even been as big of a deal as it was over the weekend to begin with. I mean, think about it. The guy that Epple was defending in that situation doesn't even play on the same team as him, and the situation for which he was retaliating happened almost 72 hours prior to that. Like, just move on. The rest of us did. Why did he have to take it upon himself to try and play the hero in that situation? Now, it was selfish because now he has to sit out tonight's game against the Chaos. There was also a fine that comes with it, but he has to sit out tonight's game versus the Chaos, which means his team will now even be more shorthanded defensively against a dangerous offensive team like the Chaos than they already were going into that game. And I think more so than anything else, it was dangerous because the worst thing that Gaudet's chirping could have possibly done was hurt somebody's feelings. Big deal, right? What Epple did could have had serious physical repercussions. He hit a defenseless player around the head and neck area, and if you're familiar with the NFL, this is a big issue going on with contact sports right now, and all the attention being paid to head and neck injuries, and especially CTE in contact sports. And Epple didn't really help the cause at all last night. In fact, he nearly created another statistic to add to the long list of CTE cases. So what I'm hoping comes out of this situation is that we can now kind of look back and say, look, we all knew the retaliation was coming, but let's not make this an every game thing. Like, we shouldn't have DraftKings coming out next game and placing an over-under on how many cheap shots Gaudet gets in that game. He said what he said. Epple took it upon himself to retaliate. It's done. He gets his suspension and his fine. Let's move on and focus on lacrosse for the next week and a half or so and really just enjoy it without feeling like a bunch of kids on the playground picking sides in a fight that isn't really going to go anywhere. At least I hope it doesn't, because like I said, I hope this doesn't become a regular thing. But we only have about a week and a half left of lacrosse to enjoy, so I say let's sit back and enjoy it for as long as we can while we can, because after next week or 2 weeks from now, the next time we'll get lacrosse is maybe in March at the earliest, which is when the college season usually rolls around. So it's only here for a little bit longer. Let's enjoy it. Let's move on from this whole Gaudet situation. We've had the retaliation. It's done. So that's what I wanted to get to with this episode 31 of Taking the Field with Stevie Mac. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this post. Also, check out past episodes from the championship series that I've done over the past few days by searching Taking the Field with Stevie Mac on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Podchaser. And that'll do it for episode 31. I'll talk to you guys later.